Hey guys, so I'm going to do um, Liam's birth story, my pregnancy birth story thing, um, as like 3 or 4 videos. So this one is just going to be my pregnancy up until I went into labor. So grab my phone and I can grab my calendar. Okay, so we found out, we conceived on March 27th of 2011. We were not trying. It was just we conceived that night. Then we thought we might be pregnant, and so I took a pregnancy test the first week of April. It came out negative. And then I was driving home from work on Tuesday, April 12th. And all of a sudden I was just like driving, and I was like, I'm pregnant. I know that I'm pregnant. So I went to our local drugstore and I got a pregnancy test, and I took it home and I took it, and it was positive, and the test came with 2 tests inside of it. So we went to my friend's later that night, and I told her I think I might be pregnant, and so we took another test at her house, and it was very pregnant. So sorry, my hair is like really bothering me. Anyway, yeah, so then I was still working full time, and the place that I was working, they didn't offer any kind of maternity leave or anything. Like, she would give you as much time off as you wanted, but there was like no paid maternity leave. So I just decided that it would be best for me to stop working, and so I stopped working right before Easter of 2011, and then so I was only like a couple weeks pregnant, and then I immediately got extreme morning sickness. So it was probably a good thing that I did stop working, because I couldn't get out of bed. It was so terrible. I was nauseous all the time. I could, like, every time I took a shower, I would just throw up. And I wasn't eating, like, anything. And so I was just throwing nothing up. It was terrible. And then every time I brushed my teeth, I would throw up, which is, really ridiculously counterproductive. So that went on for about 2 months. And it was, like, the longest 2 months of my life. And those first couple months, it's so hard, your first pregnancy, because you don't really know what to expect. And you don't really feel pregnant yet. You just know there's something inside of you, and like it's really nerve-wracking, because you could lose the baby at any time. I mean, throughout your whole pregnancy, but definitely the first trimester is the hardest. So getting to that second trimester was a big deal for me. So let's see, 1, 2, 3. It was like March, 1, 2, 3. It was like the beginning of July. I got to my second trimester, and I went to California for a week to visit my family, which was awesome. Like, my extended family lives out there, grandmas, grandpas, aunts, uncles, everyone. That's where I'm from. So that was really awesome to be able to see them and kind of have like a last trip as a single person, I don't know, without a little baby. And I was so excited to have my little baby, but I also wanted to cherish the times that I didn't have a baby, because I will always have a kid from now on, which is fine, but it was nice to have kind of like that one last time to be just by yourself. So I stayed for a week there. And then in August of 2011, we moved into our home. Adam and I did. And so that was really cool, except there was like a lot of painting projects, and we wanted to get like the nursery set up and everything. So I couldn't do any of that, and that was really frustrating to me, because I wanted to get it done, but that was nice. Having our own space and having our own house, and buying a house, that was exciting, an exciting time for us. And then the last week in July of 2011, we found out the gender, and we went to an ultrasound. And my best friend and her mom came with us, and we told the tech that we didn't want to know. We wanted her to tell my friend. So the tech, told my friend, and it was kind of frustrating because there was a senior tech and then there was a training tech, and the training tech actually did the ultrasound, and if I wasn't as freaked out as I was, I would have told her. There are just some things you don't say to a pregnant woman. So some of the things that came out of her mind out of her mouth were, "Oh, that looks weird," and then and I was like, what are you looking at? It's my baby in there. What's going on? She's like, "I don't know, the spine looks kind of weird," and I freaked out. So then she's like, "Oh, no, it's okay, don't worry." And then she's looking at the gender, and she's like, "Okay, close your eyes." So I'm going to close my eyes, and she tells my friend, she's like, "Okay, it's and then types on the computer screen, and my friends are like, I hear them, and they're like, "Oh." And then a few minutes later, she has us open her eyes, and then she's like, "Well, close your eyes one more second. I'm going to go down there, take some more pictures down there. I don't want you to see." I'm like, "Okay." And then she's like, "Oh no. Oh, it has to be this." And so I don't know what I used to do. Her eyes closed. Her like, "Okay, what did you think it was?" And then a couple minutes later, she's like, "Oh wait, no, it's definitely the first thing." So I'm like, "Ma'am, obviously you need to go back to school because you do not know what you're doing." But in my head, I was like, obviously, it's a girl because she saw nothing, and then she saw something, and then she saw nothing. So it's a girl. She saw the umbilical cord or something for the second try. And so I'm like, it has to be a girl. In my head, I'm trying to figure it out, And then turns out now we know that it's not. It was a boy. And the first time she said that it's a girl, the first time she looked, and that's when my friends were like, "Really?" Because my friend was like, "You could totally see there was a penis there. I don't understand what this lady was talking about." And then the second time, she was like, "Oh no, oh yeah, there's a penis." And then the third time, she's like, yeah, there's a penis. So I don't know what she was talking about. Maybe she's trying to confuse us. I don't know. She was not doing a good job. So anyway, we left that day not knowing what the gender of our child was, but my friend knew. And then we were at Walmart, and a couple hours passed, and I got a call from the doctor's office, and they're like, "Oh, you need to come back in because we need to get more pictures of the spine." And I was so beyond scared, because you don't want to hear that. You don't want to hear, "We need to take more pictures. We need to look more into this." That was so ridiculously scary to me. So anyway, we went back in, and the senior tech came in and actually took pictures this time, and we told her again, "Please don't tell us the gender. We're going to find out later, blah, blah." So she took pictures, and everything turned out to be fine. This, training technician just didn't know what she's talking about, but I want to send her a message and be like, "Look, woman, there's a few things you don't ever say to a pregnant lady. One is, the spine looks a little weird, unless you're a doctor and you can actually say that, and there's something to be concerned with," because it freaked me out. So then for my birthday, Tuesday, August 9th of 2011, my friend, we had a birthday party for me, and my friend came with her mom, and they had a cake, and inside of the cake was the color, either pink or blue, for a boy or a girl, because I wanted everyone to find out the gender of our baby together. So she showed up, and it was a pink cake on top, and I was like, "It's pink, Katie," and she's like, "Well, yeah, because you're a girl and you like pink, so that has nothing to do with the gender inside." It's like, okay. And then it looked like there was a pink tinge underneath, so I'm like, "Oh, it has to be a girl. It has to be." And then we were in the backyard, and we go to cut through the cake, and I start cutting, and I see pink frosting, so I'm like, "Girl, done," right? And then we cut some more, and it's blue cake, and I'm like, "It's blue, that doesn't compute." And then we cut some more, and there's pink layer of frosting again, and we cut some more, and there's blue layer of cake, and I'm like, I'm having twins, like what is going on here? And so I'm like standing there all confused, and then Katie was like, Carissa, what color is the cake? And I'm like, it's blue. And so she's like, so it's and I was like, a boy? And she's like, yes. Like, oh, okay, it's a boy. How exciting. So anyway, that's when we found out the gender. And then we had my baby shower October of 2011. And that was really awesome. My grandma flew in from California and came to it, and we had it at my aunt's house. It was really nice. So I don't know. That was really awesome to have all my close friends and family there, and we played a lot of really fun games, and it was a co-ed baby shower. And I don't know, it was really awesome. So then my due date was Saturday, December 17th. And that was according to my last period and according to conceiving on March 27th. So everyone had me convinced that I was going to be late because, you know, every first-time mom goes late. They never have the baby on their due date. And so I was like, okay, that's probably what's going to happen to me. But then on Wednesday, December 30th, no, on Wednesday, November 30th of 2011, I went in for a checkup, and that was the first week that my checkups were twice a week, I believe, or once a week. I'm not exactly sure, but I went in for my checkup on Wednesday, November 30th, and they took my blood pressure, and it was really high. Oh, and I forgot to mention, my whole pregnancy, I was ridiculously swollen. Like, I couldn't, like, close my hands. My feet were just super swollen. I didn't have, like, gestational diabetes or anything. I was just, like, ridiculously swollen and fairly large. I didn't gain very much weight. Like, I think I gained, like, 25 or 30 pounds my whole pregnancy. But I swelled up a lot. So when I gave birth, I lost a lot of weight really quickly because I lost all my water weight. So anyway, so she was really concerned with me, so she wanted me to go to the hospital for further testing. So I went over to the hospital, and they took my blood pressure and told me that it wasn't going down and it was going up a little bit, and it wasn't necessarily high enough for them to admit me yet, but they wanted me to stay on bed rest. And at this point, I was watching a little girl after school Monday through Friday, and we had planned on me stopping like a week later than that, but since my due date wasn't until the 17th, I was going to stop on the week of the 9th, December 9th. So I had to call her mom and be like, I'm so sorry, like, they just put me on bed rest, because I was like, well, I can still go get her, right? And all the doctors are like, no, you have to be in bed. And I'm like, but she needs me to go get her. And they're like, too bad, bed. So Adam and I drove home from the doctor's office and stopped at our local grocery store and got a whole bunch of snacks, because he was like, I will lure you into bed, staying in bed with snacks. So we got like a whole bunch of like just ridiculous candy and snacks. And we go home, and I sat in bed. So then the next day, Adam also had that day off. And that was December 1st, 2011. And it's like afternoon, like 12:31ish, and I was sitting in bed, and Adam and I were joking around, and he made me laugh, and I peed my pants because, you know, like, I guess I didn't pee my pants, but I like peed a little bit, and I'm like, pregnancy. So I got out of bed, and I went to the bathroom, and you know, whatever, went pee. Didn't pee very much. And then I got back in bed, and Adam made me laugh again, and I like peed my pants, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, this is so disgusting. So I go to the bathroom, and I was like, you know, Adam, will you bring me a new pair of like pants? And like, I was just like, I don't have to pee anymore, that's kind of weird. And I like looked, I like picked up my underwear, and the entire like underwear was dripping wet. And I was like, that doesn't seem like pee. And so I smelt it, which is kind of weird, but I was like, okay, if I get it near my mouth, or like near my nose, and it smells like ammonia, then I know it's pee. And I like smelled it. It smelled like nothing. And I was like, okay, why doesn't it smell like anything, you know? So then Adam comes in the bathroom, and I'm like, okay, this is really weird, but will you smell this? Like, and so he smells, he's like, doesn't smell like anything. And I'm like, I think my water just broke. And like, he was just like, can you get me my phone so I can call my midwife? And so, he gives me my phone, and I called my midwife, and I was like, you know, hey, I think my water just broke. And they're like, oh, honey, okay. You sure you didn't just pee? I'm like, yeah, you know, pretty sure. So, she's like, all right, well, go ahead and come in. Okay, so I get up, and I remember them telling me, like, I took, like, a birthing class and that kind of stuff, and I read a lot of books. And I remember them saying, like, if it's pee, you can, like, stop it, and if it's, like, your water breaking, then you can't really stop it. So, like, I, like, tried to stop it. It would, like, just stop. And I'm like, it's probably just, like, pee then. Like, you know, I don't know, whatever. So I go put some pants on. I put, like, my yoga pants on, and all of a sudden it's just, like, and, like, my pants are soaked again, and I'm like, Adam, like, I'm pretty sure it's my water. So, we got in the car, and we drove to the doctor's office, and I called my mom and my dad and my sisters, and my mom wouldn't answer her phone, so I called her like 10 times. So she was apparently in a doctor's, like, appointment, and so her phone's, like, blasting, like, you know, blowing up. And so I called my dad, and I was like, hey, Dad, like, we're off to the hospital right now, and my water, I think, just broke. And he's just like, okay, what does that mean? Well, it means the baby's probably coming, Dad. And he's like, okay. Like, so then he's like, you know, should I go to the hospital right now? And I'm like, no, like, just wait. We'll see what happens. So I go to my midwife office, and then they take me in, and she goes to check me, and it's, like, all over the table. It's just like, and she's like, oh, yeah, your water broke. I'm like, okay. She's like, you're probably going to want to have to go to the hospital now. And so I was like, all right. So we drove over to the hospital. It was, like, right across the street, and got checked in. And, like, when I got there, they had a room all ready for me and everything. So that was really nice. But I think from now, I'm going to go ahead and make my second part of my video. So stay tuned for that.